Hey, Greg Adler here, president of Off-Road Warehouse and part-time off-road racer. Here at ORW, we're not just your typical off-road shop. We sell race parts. Come check it out. We sell everything from FK rod ends, Bragola, PCI radios, and we're even selling direct BF Goodrich racing tires. Check out any one of our 10 Off-Road Warehouse locations. Get you dialed in for going down to Baja or anywhere else you play.
Sure, everything's made of something, but time and sweat is what puts it together. And it's that relentless application of effort against the clock that created everything around us. The BF Goodrich HD Terrain Tire is engineered to tackle the extreme situations heavy-duty trucks are met with head-on. Because downtime can't exist when there's a job to do. Time isn't something to marvel at. It's something to be seized. It's a tool we put firmly in your hands. BF Goodrich, what are you building for?
Years of off-road racing dominance. Proprietary patented race technology. Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions. King Shocks. The leader in off-road shock technology.
All right, what is up, everybody? We are here for one more final Fishgistics update. This is your Monster Energy update provided to you every hour, on the hour, all day long for the 2024 SCORE Baja 500. Did you guys have an exciting race today? Did you guys have fun watching it? It was pretty fun for a while. There wasn't really many lead changes, so I mean that's almost kind of boring a little bit, right? But you know, Bryce Menzies and Toby Price, Paul Wheel, they just kind of were out front and stayed out front all day. They did, you know, they swapped one time physical position, and that was about it. But Bryce Menzies literally led this thing from the start to the finish on corrected time. Even when he wasn't in first, he was literally winning the whole day. Every single split time we got everywhere along the course, from the first one at mile 76 and some even before that, he was ahead the whole day. So big congratulations to Bryce Menzies, your unofficial winner of the 2024 Baja 400. What did I say? 500, whatever, 400, 500. This is the 400. And Bryce Menzies has now won 4 Baja 400s in a row, and there's only been 5 of them. Ryan Arciero came down and won the very first Baja 400, and then since then, Bryce has won every single one of them. So congratulations to Bryce. Paul Wheel and Toby Price, hell of a job to those guys. They did a great job as well. They kept it up front all day, and they just had a great run. You can't be pissed about second. I mean, it's always a little bit of a bummer, you know, second place, but it is what it is, and you know, you can't be mad about second. Yeah, you could have gone a little faster here or there, but whatever. So, all right, well, let's look at the map. So far we've had those two finish. We've also have Ampudia finish. So here's the timers for you. Here's the times for you guys right here. So Bryce Menzies is first. You can see Bryce Menzies #1 right there. At the top, Bryce Menzies 7:53. Second, Alan Ampudia 7:56. So we won by 3 minutes over Alan Ampudia, basically 2.5 minutes really over Ampudia. Ampudia beat Toby Price, Paul Wheel on time, by just under a minute. So congratulations to Ampudia for getting second place actually on time. So Paul Wheel and them are third place, and those are the only three that have finished so far. Christopher Polvardi is in the infield right now. He's literally going to click his finishing time any second here, but it's not going to be good enough to beat any of these guys because Christopher started second. So that means the best he's going to do is fourth. We are going to have to watch behind him anybody coming in to see if they might beat him on time. But Christopher should be clicking over any second there for a finish. You can see the 94s right here. They're on the infield, literally about to cross the finish line. So there's no one else even close. I mean, we got Tavo is the next car, and he's over 20 miles behind him still. Or on here, he's about 10 miles back on this map. So about 10 miles back to Tavo, and then we have go all the way back to his dad, Gustavo Sr. in the 1L. That's going to be your leader of the Legends class. And then Justin Lofton, who's had a really great run today. So it looks like Lofton might be coming in, what is that, 5th place there for Lofton? So he's had some bad luck at some races lately and just kind of a lot of issues. And good to see him come out here and have a good run. And hopefully he can make it to the finish line. He's only about 15 miles from the finish or so. So really cool to see. Glad Lofton had a good run today and get it in. Let's see, do we have a time for Polvardi yet? Nope, still not yet. Any second, literally, Christopher Polvardi should be crossing the line, and we'll get a time for him. But let's see, what else do we want to show you guys? I'm just waiting to see if we can get a time for Christopher. Then we'll go look at some of the other cars, but I'm just waiting for him to cross the line so that it's official. And still not in any second. Come on, Christopher. Get across the line there. Just waiting for this to click over. All right, we'll come back. So let's go look. Who else is leading? We said the 1L is your top legend entry. So the 1L right there. Behind them, we're going to have to go back. We got Tracy Graff here, the 19L second, Class L. Mikey Lawrence, Kevin Thompson, Ruben Torres. We got 82, Sam Baldi, Tracy Poole, Dave Taylor. All right, Class 1. Here we go. Here's your leader right here. So the 138 right here, Kyle Quinn, still your leader. He's been leading most of the day. Thor Herps is also your leader in the Spec truck class. So Thor Herps, if you guys were watching the camera a little bit ago, Thor actually had a flat tire, and Jeremy Munyon, I think, is his co-driver. He was out changing it. He barely got back in, and they started going, and the 62 Pullman truck came right up behind him and actually hit him right as he got in. So a little bit sketchy there. Justin was barely in the, I think it's Justin, Jeremy. I always get them mixed up. Was barely in the truck at the time, and luckily they're nothing bad happened, but that was a little sketchy there. They pulled out literally right in front of Ryan Pullman as he was coming, but you can see why. Look at the 97. The 219 is literally fighting the 97 for first place right here, and getting a flat tire that close to the finish line is not what you want to do, and every second counts. So this is going to be a great race between the 219 and the 297 to the finish there. Their cameras were working pretty good earlier, and they still are. So we'll keep an eye on those for you guys. That's first and second. Third place is going to be Bryce Swaim in that class. And then we got Brennan Gaughan. He's going to be second place in Class 1 because we just had Kyle Quinn. So Kyle Quinn and then Brendan Gaughan, first and second there. Come back to EJ Herps. So another Herps. The Herps boys are always doing well. All the Herps boys, they do well every race in the Spec trucks. Cody Reed, third place in the RPI car, running third right now. We got Brent Fox, Cody Parkhouse, Mike Marsal, Stephen Beal. That Sean Geiser did a hell of a job in that truck earlier, by the way. That truck was up at the front the whole time Sean was in it. So shout out to Sean Geiser. I know he doesn't have a lot of time in a Spec truck, I don't think, and that was a good run Sean had there in the 241. So I do definitely want to throw a shout out to him. He was holding it down at the front for most of the day earlier. Jordan Brenthal, that's Abdali Lopez driving. Dallas Luttrell, Mike Marsal, Ryan Hancock. That is Christian Serapis actually is back racing again. So Christian Serapis jumped in the Ryan Hancock truck at the halfway point. So good to see Christian back out here. And then Mike Walser, glad to see him out here. We're always rooting for Mike. He's a really, really good guy. And, I know he's got some stuff going on, and we wish you the best, Mike, with everything. And it's pretty badass to see you out here doing what you're doing with everything else that you have going on right now. So pretty cool. Big shout out to Mike Walser for doing what he's doing and being in the car and going Baja racing while he's got some other stuff going on. Wade Porter back here. Max Eddy Jr., that's the class 1 UTV. He's still running pretty good. he's gotten passed by a few spec trucks now. Maybe about what 6 or 7 spec trucks have got around him. He had an axle issue. They tore a boot. They had to change the boot, and then he lost the brakes after that. So I don't know if they fixed the brakes yet, or he's just driving with whatever brakes he's got. But Max Eddy doing pretty good. He hasn't got passed by a ton of specs like some people thought. Some people thought he was going to get passed by a lot more than he did, but he's been holding it down. He had a flat tire earlier too, I know. So he's had three little stoppages there in the 141. All right, we got to turn some of these cars off. And somebody said Polvardi finished. Okay, so there you go. Christopher Polvardi in with an 8:07. So this is a little bit more spread out than we've seen, 3 minutes here. This is obviously close, a minute between second and third, but I mean, it was 10 minutes all the way, 10 minutes back from third to fourth. So kind of a little bit bigger gap in our racing today. Class 10 was really close when we looked last time, but let's see. The 1014 has pulled a. Oh, okay. So we have what happened to Eberts. Eberts has lost some time here. So bummer for Eberts. We have Bruce Yee now out front. He's showing as first. I think he was first earlier today, and then he fell back, and now he's back in first. We got Abraham Gutierrez here in second, and then we got Dale Eberts, who was leading most of the day, has fallen back to third. So I don't know what they got going on with the Eberts machine. They might have a bit of an issue there, but they've lost quite a bit of time because they were the lead car for most of the day for most of our updates. But really, look at it's only about those three cars right now. This car is clearly on the road and out of the race. They're on the highway. So that's a look at the lead 10 cars. You got Freddie Willert in fourth, and then Steve Myers in fifth. So that is the Class 10s. Let's go look at the Pro UTV Open class. They should be somewhere around here, and there they are. This is turning into a good race as well. So we got Caden McCackeren. He's been out front all day, but look at on his heels, we got Wayne Matlock. He's pushing there. Wayne is getting close. That's a pretty good update there. And what did we say? Wayne had 2 or 3 minutes on Caden. So he's really got to, Caden's got to pick it up a little bit here. He started first. 2 minutes. Okay, so Wayne Matlock started 2 minutes behind Caden McCackeren. That means he just has to finish 2 minutes physical behind him, and he will beat him. So very close racing there. Let's turn on the Pro UTV Open splits. So look at okay, so at S5, that's 308, but I want us to see their S6. When they get to 362, I think it's going to be even closer to the splits because Caden was in first and Matlock was in third there. But Matlock has made up a lot of time in these last 50 miles, so I want to see their next split time. Keep an eye on the UTV Open. That is very close between Matlock and Heger's actually back there too. Look at that. Heger's back up there. So you got Heger, we got Brandon Sims, and Caden McCackeren. Any one of those four can win right there. It is too close to call this race for them. And they haven't even got to the really tight technical stuff, which is from here to the finish, really. So anybody's game, anybody's day in the Pro UTV Open class. That's a really good race going on there. You got 2 of the 3 SCI factory cars in the top 3 right now. Top 3 or 4, depending on when their tracker updates. In the UTV forced induction class, they've kind of fallen back a ways. And Pudi has definitely slowed down a bit, probably because he wants to win his class at this point. I'm just assuming he was on a tear earlier, but look at the gap he's got. He has a massive gap over Mark Brunette, who's in second in his class. So definitely something going on with the rest of these cars because Ampudia is just putting he's hurting everybody right now. I mean, that's a massive gap. Phil Blurton is the only one that was able to keep up with Ampudia earlier, and he's out, but he's smoking the rest of these guys. So it's not really too close in that class, and the overall is not very close either right now. But Ampudia is doing what he's got to do. He's out there racing for the class win right now. So that's what Rodrigo. He's just got to get it to the finish, and he will have a pretty good showing. The UTV stock class, Caden Wells, they've been kicking butt all day. Kada and Emma in there. They are at mile 282. They're just past Mike's section. They're making their way down to Highway 3. He's got a pretty good lead over Francisco Beltran. And then George Cano here. We got Dennis Romeo in there. We got Diego, Annabelle Lopez entry, and Douglas Cornwall back here, and Andy Chavez. So kind of spread out in the stock class, but still a little ways to go. So it's not over yet there. Anybody can win, but looking pretty good for Caden Wells right now. Pretty good lead out there for him. All right, the class, let's see, who else do we got to look at? Class 5, we haven't looked at them much. There was 4 of them. Not very close in Class 5. So the Class 500 car, Eli Yee out front. We got the 510. is in second, Ibericcar, and then we got the 513 is stopped at the highway down by Collinet. So not very good race in Class 5 right now, at least close between them. But the 500 car is got a pretty good lead over the 510, but they are still moving. So we got a little bit of a race there between first and second. So not too horrible. I'm trying to look at any other classes that have a few cars in them. 1600 cars have 3. 2 of them are pretty close together. Though, look at, we got Daniel Goodrich here in first, but only a couple miles behind him, literally 2 miles behind him, is Raul, and his updated 2 minutes ago. So that's even a lot closer than it looks, because Daniel's updated right now. So Raul is actually right on him. He could actually be ahead of him if he's not in front of him, because 2 minutes and 2 miles, that's about what the gap could be. So really good race between first and second in Class 1600, at least between the two of them. And that's really it. We got Class 7's got 4. We got Richard Faint out front. And we got Luis Vasquez is at 0 miles an hour in the Mike's Loop. That's a horrible spot to be at 0 miles an hour. That is never fun. 0 miles an hour in there. 700F, Justin Park back here. And then 714 there. And then we got 740 there. We got Dan Shamley somewhere. Where is Dan Shamley? He's not on here, is he? 1, 2, 3, 4. It says his name on there, but it's not showing him on here. So I don't know where Dan Shamley is, unless he's right with one of these other cars. Let's see. No, he's not there. I'm not sure where he is. Tracker. Oh, he's right here. There he is. Right with the other one. All right. So the 718 is at 0 miles an hour, and Dan Shamley is just about to pass him where he was 5 minutes ago. He's right there with him. There we go. Now it updated. So Shamley is actually in second. So he's moving, and the 711 is going to be first in Class 7. So that's a look at your first and second, and that's that. All right. Well, I think that pretty much sums up the race today. I mean, it was a good race. We had some good competition for us to watch throughout the day. The Spec Truck class is definitely the one to watch right now, though. Look at this. Between the 219 and the 297, that is really close. If we go look on the times, let's pull up Trophy Truck Spec. And we can see, okay, so Trey Gibbs is not updating well. Some of these guys aren't updating well. So Thor Herps, if we scroll all the way over here on my screen, here, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so Thor Herps, you can see, is showing as second. Yeah, so he's actually, we got 725 right here, 725.23 for the 297, and then 725.45. So we're literally talking about 20 seconds between the two. 22 seconds the 297 has on corrected time over Thor Herps. That is a very close race right now in the Spec Truck class. 20 seconds between the two of them. So that is going to be the one to watch, like we said. So watch that throughout the rest of the day, and that'll be interesting to see who comes to the finish first. And it's going to come down to time right there, because the 219 started in front, I believe, right? Where did the 297? The 219 started 5th, and the 297 started 7th. So the 219 has to finish 1 minute before the 297 does, or the 297 is going to get him on time. So the 297 has to be within a minute physical of the 219 at the finish, and that's the way that's going to work. So I would go over and watch SCORE International. This is going to be the last update we're going to do, because it's kind of spreading out besides that class. So I would go over and watch the SCORE YouTube. So go over to the SCORE International YouTube. You can see they got lots of cool cameras up on here. So they're showing some trucks coming back in. There's that was earlier. That was Ampudia earlier. Let me go back to live. So there's live. So they got some drone cameras, they got some ground cameras. They'll show the finish, and then they're going to interview Bryce. Everybody has to get back to town. Remember where the finish was at Rancho Nelson. Then they have to parade all the way down the highway. It's probably going to take about half an hour, honestly, to get down to the finish ramp back in Ensenada. That's where Rat will do the interviews on the finish ramp. So head over to the SCORE YouTube after I sign off here and go watch Bryce's interview. We're going to watch it too, and then and that'll be that. But congratulations once again to Bryce Menzies for the unofficial 4th win in a row at the Baja 400. Bryce is definitely the one to beat at any race, always, and he's been kicking butt this year. And they have the #1 plate for a reason on that truck, and looking pretty strong going into the to the Baja 1000. So the question is, the Baja 1000, who's Bryce going to drive with, right? So we'll see. I would think it would be another Toyo driver most likely, and I don't know which one. Maybe, I mean, who's fast? Well, who qualified right in front of him? Like Christopher Polvardi Maybe. He's on Toyos. He qualifies well. Good kid. I don't know who Christopher's going to race with. So we'll see. The 1,000 is will be interesting. We'll see who's Tavo with. Who's Tavo with at the 1,000? Does Tavo race with Ampudia? Remember, Ampudia kind of did the little slide move a little bit ago. I don't know if they're friends enough to race together, but we'll see, right? We know Dan and Andy are racing together, and Luke and Rob are racing together. So we'll see who's racing with who at the next big race, the Baja 1000. That's the one that everybody wants to win, right? All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here at Fishgistics. Big thank you to all of our sponsors, as always. Those guys make it fun for us to come out here and do what we're doing. Big thanks to you guys for all the help with the comments throughout the day and sending us all of our updates. We'll continue posting stuff on social throughout the rest of the day like we always do. But big thank you to Monster Energy, our title sponsor of the year, Monster Energy, Raceline Wheels. We just got some new wheels for our expedition that we got coming. VP Racing, they were the presenting sponsor of this race. Vision Canopy, Off-Road Warehouse, King Shocks, Baja Designs. You're going to need your Baja Designs if you aren't finished pretty soon, so hopefully you got some. BFG Tires, the best tires there are out there. Jeff Alford and Alford Distribution, Unlimited RV. Everybody there. Alexander Ford, Polaris Razor. Speaking of razors, we got a new expedition coming. Like I said, we're getting it from Coin. If you guys are going to buy your UTVs, go to Coin. Talk to Travis. He'll hook you up. And that's, it makes it fun when you have stuff from good people. You got to keep it in the community, right? So Travis Coin is a racer, ex-racer. Go buy your stuff from them. And then Golden State Extracts with their CBD. You're definitely going to want some of that after these rough races because your neck's going to be sore and your back's going to be sore. So definitely great. Get some from them. Keep it in the racing family. Once again, get your CBD from those guys. All right, guys, we are out of here. Go over, watch the score feed, and see what happens at the end of the race for the Spec trucks. But I'm telling you that Herps and the 297 San Patero race is going to be close. It's 20 seconds right now, and anything can happen there. So we're going to go watch it with you guys, and we will be back. We'll do a Baja 400 wrap-up show for sure. We'll have some of these guys on, so look for that probably this next week, maybe this next week coming up or the week after. We'll announce and let you know. All right, see you guys soon.